Hey Gray Duck family, we're on the campus of the University of California, Los Angeles, right next to their film school and the James Bridges Theater here on campus, a place where so many of the filmmakers we know and love got their start. Two of my favorites on the list is Francis Ford Coppola and Paul Schrader. Both spent time at this school and in this department. And so since I'm here at the birthplace of so much of what has happened in cinema, I'll tell you about the birthplace of the idea of Gray Duck Theater itself. That history goes back a long ways. As many of you know, I grew up in the Los Angeles area, had a love of film culture and filmmaking. I was really cultivated in this area where all different kinds of movies are shown. And at various points in my life, getting in and out of that community. But to be specific about the idea of what became Gray Duck is probably December 2017. I was just scouring the internet, as we all do, and I came across a article called How to Start Your Own Indie Cinema for Under $15,000. And I'll link to that article in the comments below or in the description of this video. Check it out. It's a really interesting read because you'll see some of the similarities with what we did at Gray Duck and some areas where we differed and changed some stuff up. But reading that article gave me the idea that maybe this dream that I had of having this indie cinema somewhere that didn't have an indie cinema culture was possible. That I could do it on a budget, that we could get the money together and really take a leap forward. And so I read that article in December. By January, I was researching plans, technology, drawing up initial budget projections, all the stuff that you probably know goes into starting a new business. I didn't know until I started doing it, but trying to see if this would be a reality. In January, a ton of research. I mean, hours and hours and hours on internet, YouTube videos, Vimeos, going to the library and getting stacks of books that were some helpful and some not so helpful. But it all started from that one article and that idea that this was possible. One thing I always knew is I wanted to do it in the upper Midwest. I wanted to do it in an area of the country where my wife comes from. My wife's from the Twin Cities, and a place where I thought there's a ton of creative people, a ton of people who love art and culture and community and questioning and film, but didn't have sort of the bedrock foundation of sort of these traditional communities that built up in places like LA or like Chicago or like New York. And so that was the first step. We didn't even know if we were going to Rochester for sure. We knew somewhere in the Midwest we wanted to start this indie cinema and that it was possible, that we could do it on a budget. This guy in the article gave us the number $15,000 is what you would need to really get it going. We found out that it takes a little more than that for how we wanted to do it, but that it was possible that we could get that money together. So that's how Gray Duck started, just like so many great names now started at this little square, just going to class. So we just started with a small kid growing up in LA that happened to read an article one night that energized him and got things going. And now we're coming to you, Rochester, Minnesota. So that's the first step. We'll bring a series of videos introducing you to people we met, answering questions like how we ended up in Rochester, how we found the building that we were at, and all the stuff that came that way. So looking forward to tell you more about that. Thanks for listening.